So, my mom always likes to say, you can't force love. And I didn't really understand what she meant for a long time. Up until like 3 years ago, I had no clue what she was talking about, and I thought it was just one of those platitudes that mothers tend to say. But I've come to find out in my own life that you really can't force love. And the English language is devoid of the different kinds of love that exist. There's friendship love, there's the familial love, there is the sibling love, there is agape, which is unconditional love. So there's lust, that's another form of love, although it's different than the kind that we usually think about, which is romantic love. Um, so when I'm talking about love, I'm talking about all kinds of love. And I have found that you really can't force someone to love you, whether that be in a relationship or in a friendship or any kind of any kind of relationship. You can't force it. You can't force the other person to love you, to like you, to want to be around you. And I have found, at least for myself, a lot of the times I used to try and prove myself to others, prove to others my worth and why I should be loved by them. But that only creates suffering. That only creates pain because it's not authentic. It's not coming from the person's heart. They're actually being coerced to like you or coerced into loving you, you know? And so in my own life, I've come to realize that if somebody wants to be in my life, if someone wants to be a part of my journey and love me, they're going to love me for who I am. And I'm not going to have to prove myself to them. I'm not going to have to change my ways or do things that they like so that they like me more. They're going to like me for me. They're going to love me, for everything that encompasses Megan. And I encourage anybody that's watching this to be courageous enough to hold your own ground and search for people, or search for connections, or strengthen connections where you don't feel like you have to prove yourself, where you feel like they love you no matter what, and they love you for who you are and not for the mask that you've put up. So, this is also for myself. Like, I encourage myself all the time to hold my own ground because I do find myself falling into toxic patterns and sometimes wanting certain people to like me because I want to feel validated and I want to feel loved. But I realized that it's so much more freeing to just be yourself. And I know that sounds cliche because it is, but it doesn't mean that it's not true, you know? Just be yourself, and the people that really matter will stick around and will love you for who you are, not for the mask, not for the role that you're playing, but for who you are. And I've let go of a lot of people in my life because they didn't really love me for who I was. They loved me for the mask that I had worn for so long. And it didn't feel authentic. It didn't feel like a true connection. And I wasn't being honest with myself. And that goes back to doing the hard things and being honest with yourself. Something that I talked about in my last video. So all I can say is try to be authentic as you can. Stick by your truth. Live by your truth. And the right people will come around. And the right people will love you for you. Not for someone who you're not. And you may not have a lot of friends in that case. You may not have hundreds and hundreds of people. You know, it may just be 2 or 3 people, 2 or 3 close people in your life. But it's about quality, not quantity, right? It's not about how many people you know or how many connections you've had. It's about how good those connections are. And so, yeah. Well, anyway, you can hear the talking because I'm in a park and it's a Sunday, and a lot of people just want to be out and about, and they want to be out in nature, and they want to be with trees. This was a really nice tree here. Very comforting. I can feel its energy. So comforting. So, anyway, yeah, stay authentic, stay true, and stay you. Peace and love. Take care. See you tomorrow.